Hey everyone, I know I'm in my bathrobe. This is actually like a $60 bathrobe and it's really comfortable, so I can wear whatever I want on camera. Oh, also, Matcha is my background today, so all hail the wonderful and adorable Matcha. She's very sweet. I know, you're very cute. Oh look, see, she likes it when you rub her chin. Yeah, you are such a good girl. I finally, after much hemming and hawing, feel like I should have gotten this sooner to get them YouTube views, but I finally got the Apple Balm foundation from KVD Beauty, whatever they call themselves now. As I've said before in other videos, I currently don't have any full coverage foundations, having gotten rid of Face Tape and the Juvia's Place foundation because they both just hated my skin. I have been looking for a full coverage foundation because sometimes I just want to put on a mask. Like, sometimes I do. I actually, for some reason, I really get along with just about everything Teresa is dead at review. So like, if she hates a complexion product and I buy it anyways, I end up hating it too. So these days, if I want something complexion related, if she has a review on it where she likes it, I just buy it. And then I like it. I really just had such a great experience going off of her recommendations for my foundation, concealer, and powder that I just end up doing whatever she says. So the reason I had not gotten it was actually just because I couldn't figure out what shade I was. Like, after light 004, which is warm-ish, the next two shades are cool. And then when it becomes warm again, it's too tan. So this shade is gonna be, I think, probably a bit light. We can contour that to fix it. So I did already prime with my Estee Lauder Futurist Aqua Brilliance primer. It's not the most hydrating primer, so it's not something I would use a lot during the winter, but for right now, because it's like 9:30 at night, I just was like, I'll just throw that on. Yeah, the coverage is gonna be pretty good, so I'm just gonna start out with this much. I know one of the things people were saying, when I saw people who really hated it, I noticed they were using a lot. So you can see that is definitely a lot of coverage. Yeah, it spreads out really well with the sponge. Not like as easily as a liquid, since it's not a liquid. And I'm using it so thin that it's not covering up like my freckles, but that's fine. I just needed to cover up all this redness. And I could probably layer this too, so I can layer it to see if I want more. But yeah, that's with just like, you can see how little I tapped into it. Yeah, this is definitely covering up all of my discoloration, which I have a lot of these days for some reason. Like, my veins have been showing super big, and usually that's not a problem for me. So yeah, you can see it's a little too light for me, but the undertone actually is a really good match. All right, and now I just need to, really I need to like cover my nose, is where it's like the worst. And I'm not gonna put any on my forehead, or I'm just gonna kind of put residual product on my forehead because my bangs are gonna cover it up. So I can see it clinging onto some dry patches right here where I have some pimples. There's dry patches it's clinging to, but again, I wasn't using a super hydrating primer. I'm gonna put on a very thin second layer. I suspect if I hydrate my skin a lot better, then this won't look as dry. On this cheek, there are no dry patches because I don't have any outbreaks on that cheek. Some dry patches on my chin where there's breakouts that are healing, and some dryness around my nose area. I would say this foundation is a little bit drying feeling on my skin, but this is at 9:30 at night after I've had a full day. I didn't really do much skin prep. I just put on a primer that's not like ultra hydrating, so I think in this case, once I find the right combination of primers to use with this will look really nice. The coverage is so high, like my skin looks super perfected. It just needs, you know, more hydration, but I know Teresa is Dead was like the Ritual Defee, is that how you say it? The Thorn Oil is what she uses. On their website, you can buy a mini, and even with shipping, the mini is like it's like a $15 mini. So I was just gonna buy that with some of the highlighters. I just haven't done it yet. But she like sings the praises of that primer, so I'm sure I'll like it too. I just haven't gotten around to it. I'm gonna just use setting spray to just kind of try and fix some of this dryness. This isn't a review or anything, this is just me talking about my experience using it as it's going on my face. And then I'll just kind of tap it out more. So now with some setting spray on, the dry patches are a lot less visible. They're still there, so I likely will not use very much powder. Alright, the other thing I got with my 20% off coupon is the Becca under eye corrector. I had been hoping it would have gone on sale when Becca closed, but it never did because curses, they knew. They knew people wanted it. But then when SMASHBOX started carrying it and they had like an expanded shade range, I picked up the Fair to Light one, which looks like this. I'll just kind of lightly tap it under my eyes. I'm using an extremely thin layer. So you can see it actually works really well. Looking down in the mirror, I can still see lines, which is actually really impressive. So actually, I am gonna go back into this. I wanna see how this works as a concealer. So I am gonna go into it as if it's a concealer on my brush, and I'm just gonna dab it where I see that line. And like what I usually dip in for my JX Professional is enough for both eyes for this. That's crazy. And you see, looking down now, you can hardly see those lines. So this definitely has concealer level coverage. I'm actually super pleased with it now, because if this works as a concealer, then once my JX Professional runs out, I'm not gonna have to go through the horror of trying to track it down again, because it's not easy to find, you guys. It goes in and out of stock on Beauty Box Korea, which is currently the only place that I know of that you can buy it and have it shipped to the US. My under eyes look so good with this ridiculous experiment, so I'm very happy. So with that all being said, I'm just gonna use, yeah, even with this little amount of powder, my skin is suddenly looking super dry, so I'm just gonna switch over to my Kogendo powder. I'll use this for the rest of my face. Yeah, so it does also take the right powder combo too, which this seems to be better, so I think this will be fine for me. I think I'm gonna like it, but it is gonna be finicky for me. It's gonna have certain things I have to do, certain rules I have to follow around using this, is kind of what I think is gonna end up happening, which I can work with because this coverage is just unreal. I love how much coverage it has for how little I'm using. Like, it was such a thin layer, so presuming my skin would be more properly prepared next time, we don't need to talk about my brows today. I'm just gonna blaze through them as fast as I can. Oh, I went too thick there. I never said it would be a good makeup day, considering that I feel like trash right now. It's just a fun makeup day where I'm just escaping from reality. It's fine, it'll look fine, because when I put my bangs back down, they'll cover up everything. You guys, she's loafing. Do you see how her feetsies are all curled in? How her feet are curled? Isn't she literally, like, do you guys even want to watch me put on makeup when you could just watch Matcha do things? Like, can just do 20 minutes of let's watch Matcha loaf. Superior quality content right here. Let's just all not even kid ourselves. Isn't she so cute? Okay, I'm sorry, I need to stop, but like, she just is so cute. Like, she's so small and her legs are so short, and then her paws are like super tiny, so when she loafs, it's just like unbearably adorable, okay? I got the AURIC eye duos, and I was wondering when I could fit these in. I think now is a great time. I'm sure it comes to no surprise that this is what enthralls me the most right now, so I'm gonna use this, which is Entice. I love the shade names of these. So these are actually the only 2 products from AURIC I own. I think it'd be fun for me to make a video of brands I want to try next year, because AURIC would totally be on that list. I'm gonna use these Sigma brushes. I think these should work. And I'm gonna use the bottom of the stopper as kind of a little blending palette, actually. So I'm just gonna apply this, and I'm just gonna do a 1-tone smoky eye today. That'll be really easy for me. I'm not gonna have to think. I can just slap this on and be done. I don't have to do anything creative or difficult, because this shadow should in theory stand on its own. Note again, please, I'm using this for the first time. I do not have any set opinions on this. Watch the demo, see how I apply it, decide if you want to get it yourself. So this is really my first time using a cream shadow with a brush ever, honestly. And I had like no difficulties. This was so easy. I like it. This is so easy, and I feel like I'm like not even having any trouble. I'm not having to like try and do some sort of special forbidden ancient secret technique. I'm just treating this like a powder shadow, but it's like, it's just doing things. Wow, wow, wow. I thought this would be harder to use. It's not like ultra metallic. It wasn't meant to be. This feels like a satin eyeshadow. I feel like such a pro. I feel like such an expert now. Wow, I didn't take any additional product. I just took what was left on the brush to run it on my lower lash line. And my eyelids are really dry right now, but it's really masking that dryness really well. If she ever made more colors, I could see these just being something I use as an eye base, honestly. All right, other eye. And like, bear in mind, these are definitely pretty expensive. It's kind of ease of use is something I would absolutely expect from something that is, I think these were $39 each. I feel like I'm just able to work with these without any effort. And then when I blend out the edges, it doesn't really turn very gray. Like for example, if you blend out a multi-chrome too much, you're gonna start seeing the black pull through. But here you can see when I blended out the edges, it does turn a little bit gray, but it's not like jarring. It doesn't look awful or anything, so that's also really nice. And like the more I layer on, I'm not seeing any texture buildup or any just like funky product behavior from building up and adding more. And it doesn't feel thick or anything. I just, wow, and this is like an olivey green shade. It's like a dream for me. The moment I saw her release these holiday shades, I just was like, oh my god, these are perfect for me. And it makes me want to try the other shades she has too. I am just in awe. This is absolutely beautiful. Thought about putting a darker shadow on top, but I'm not gonna do that anymore. I actually thought it would be really fun to kind of pair this with a gold. I thought that would actually make for kind of an interesting twist. So these are the JACLYN Shimmer Top Coats. They do feel really super wet when you rub it, like it feels cold and wet like water. And when you get it on your finger, you think to yourself, oh my gosh, this is gonna look so good. But I'm gonna warn you, it's a little deceiving. I'll show you. When you put it on your lid, it does look really beautiful. I mean, like, but look how much stays on your finger. Because it is so wet and so creamy, it actually adheres to your finger more than it does to your eyelid. So that is really its biggest downfall, and I think that's why it's getting such poor reviews, because it has trouble transferring itself. It doesn't bother me, and I still really like it. So I still think these are worth it, and you can just keep, you know, just keep digging into your finger, and eventually you'll have enough product on your finger that it has no choice but to transfer. But yeah, I can totally understand why for some people it's just really annoying, because I can see it being really annoying, and that's completely understandable. Like, you are completely justified to be annoyed by this. I left my brush drawer open and Matcha just climbed in. And now she is covering all of my brushes with cat hair, and they were in that drawer specifically so I can keep it close so no cat hair goes in. Knowing those cons, if that's still not enough to deter you away, then you are gonna find yourself with a really truly lovely cream shadow. If that's just a deal breaker for you, then of course don't buy these, you will be disappointed. So yeah, but you can see how fun that looks on top of that olivey green shadow. So if I like pull really hard on my finger on my hand, you can see that it does swatch really well. I totally understand why people did not like it. Yeah, this is definitely more sheer. It almost feels like a white with a lime green flip is what it feels like, especially particularly looking at it in the pan. There is some fallout, which I suspect is because this is meant to be used with a finger. So if I had an eyeshadow applicator, I think it would be fine. Yeah, on my finger you can see very pretty, very glisteny. My nails are very short right now, so I'll just go ahead and intensify it just a little bit. Way better with a finger. That doesn't surprise me at all, but here's what it looks like. You know, some of the olive did get lost under the gold, but I did apply it pretty extensively, so, you know, that's fine. I think this is really, really nice. I thought about an inner corner highlight. I mean, why not? Let's put an inner corner highlight. So I'll take this and I will tap it on my inner corner. Matcha wants to jump on top of my shelf. I was gonna make a vlog about how I reorganized my little kind of filming area, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. But maybe I will. Hopefully I will soon. We'll see. And then you'll see. And then you would know what I'm talking about. Okay, so on top of that eyeshadow, it is very beautiful. And even just on my inner corners, it does look really pretty. I love how simple this was. I didn't use any eyeshadow palettes. I just used these two products right here. And I am looking forward to using Disrupt. This is definitely something I feel like I wouldn't have thought of in my eyeshadow palettes. And this was like super simple, didn't require any skill or thought. And then to top it all off, I'm gonna take NABLA's Cupid's Arrow in number 5. These are actually super great to use in the waterline, which is what I got them for. They are technically like can be used anywhere, so I am gonna try and use number 1 on as a lip liner, but I got this because I want to be able to darken my waterline, but not to the point where it's a complete dark brown. And I think this is still a little bit too light and a little bit too warm, but it's getting there. It's getting to what I wanted, and so I'm gonna still looking for the perfect shade, but you can see how it changes the color of my waterline ever so slightly. It just changes it from pink to a warm brown, and that really can help make the look a little bit more cohesive. And these do go really well on the waterline, and they don't irritate my eyes. I do want to try this as kind of like an eyeshadow stick primer base thingy in the future. Sebastian squeezed under the desk and is being naughty. I know, because of course you're naughty. Sebastian, hello! They are so silly. They think my desk is a playground, which, you know what? To them, it probably is. I think these will be good. They're short but dense. I got into a phase, and I'm still kind of in that phase, where I actually... Are you gonna do it? No, you're not gonna do it. She's trying to jump. Whoa, she did it! Nice, good job, Matcha. Once I make my vlog, you'll understand what I'm talking about. You can see that my lash lift is very spotty now, so I do need to contact her and see when she thinks it's good to retouch. And once that gets done, I'll go in and get it done again. But in the meantime, the magnetic lashes I have from Doe are a little bit too long. I've come to realize I do really like it when my lashes are shorter, but I also do, if they're short, then they can be dense. If they're long, then they need to be wispy, is kind of what I've realized. And I'm still super upset that I didn't buy more of the Jessie, Luxe, and Doe collection. I only have one of each of her brown lashes. High-key upset that I only have one, because once those wear out, I don't have them anymore. And they are the only pairs of brown false lashes I own, period. So I like never use them because I don't want to wear them out. And there's Sebastian. He's a big boy. He's a lot bigger. Hi, Sebastian. Are you a big boy? He is a very big boy. He's a lot bigger than when I first got him. Alright, I'm gonna put this on. I think I'm putting it on the wrong eye, but whatever. I am putting it on the wrong eye, and I'm holding it wrong, so I need to change how I'm holding it. Oh my goodness. I do need to trim these. These are too long. I don't have my scissors on me, so I'll just suffer. I am the dog in the fire room saying this is fine. When I first got these, I was like, wow, why did I buy these? I didn't think I would like them, but actually I do really like them. This look definitely would look better with eyeliner, but I don't feel like putting on eyeliner, so I'm not. And I'm going to just use a mini mascara from my Sephora set just to pop it on my lower lashes. It's just one of those in the set. I don't really like any of them, so it doesn't matter which one it is. But also, I like have a really random bald patch where I lost a bunch of lashes. I don't know where they went or why they're gone. So now my lower lashes are even more sparse, even more short, and even more pathetic than they were like a week ago. It makes me worried that I'm beginning to like actually permanently lose hair or something, which even if it's not true, it's really hard to shake the feeling when you suddenly lose a bunch of lashes at once. That sucks, but whatever. What can I do? So yeah, okay, so my lower lashes are just ever so slightly more defined, just like the teeniest, weeniest bit more. So I'm just gonna move on to the face now. So I was interested in the Etude House cookie blushers from their cookie collection. Totally was having some ready to buy, but the more I looked at them, the more I realized I do actually already have that color. I just had completely forgotten about it. And it's very similar to the color Persimmon right here. And if I use this and I think this is too orange, then I'll buy the Etude House ones. But I wanted to use this first just to ensure I'm not like totally hallucinating. The cookie blushers from Etude House are like kind of a mix of beige brown with warmth, and I have almost no beige brown blushes because to me those just read like it's a bronzer. Why do I need that shade of blush? But then Korea has it's really trendy to have those blushes, but they have a very odd undertone that doesn't really exist in the Western market, so I wanted to buy them. Let me fuss around with this shade here and see, and if I don't feel like I'm satisfied with that, then I'll buy those shades. I know I do have a lot of blush, I'll be the first to admit it. I am excessively picky. I'll have a color in mind I want, and if I don't have that color in my collection, I'll get really frustrated. So that's why I have so many colors and finishes, because I tend to, after my eye's done and everything, I tend to have a very laser focused idea of exactly what blush I want, and I want to apply it like literally right under the center of my eyes, which is kind of the trendy placement for it right now. So I usually tend to wrap my blush up and over my face, but this time I am gonna really focus it in right under my eyes. Yeah, this is a pigmented formula, so my biggest concern was that I would like the color, but it would be so pigmented it would become too dark. Most Korean formulas are pretty sheer and easy to build, versus this one is kind of hard for me to control. Let me just take a clean brush and really diffuse that out. The technique of putting it here, it is really cute, but if you have a long narrow face like me, it's hard to do because you feel like there's no room. You go too far to the left, you're at your nose. You go too far to the right, you're wrapping around your face. That's just the way it is, because I literally don't have the same amount of width that other people have because my forehead's tiny. Like if I had a bigger forehead that was more egg-shaped like ponies or something, then I would have more real estate here to put the blush, but I don't. It's just something you have to work with. You can change a lot about your face with plastic surgery, but you can't change the shape of your forehead. Okay, so this is not exactly what I'm looking for. It has hinged too much orange. So close though, so close. The Etude House ones are literally like $4 or $5 each. That's why I was like thinking of getting them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of apply another shade on top. I'm gonna take Nudegasm and I'm gonna take the gray, the very cool tone one. I'm just gonna kind of put it on top to add a little bit of brown, kind of cool it down a little bit, and we're gonna make like a custom blush shade on my face. And it's a baked formula and I'm going in very lightly because I just need a little bit, very little. I don't want to look like I'm sticking contour on the center of my face. Okay, so it's a little bit less orange now, and now I'm gonna go across both shades for the outside of my face. And Sebastian is going through my lash bin trying to pull out lashes because that's just what he does, you know? And now I'm going to take highlighter. I know exactly which shade highlighter I want to use too. Golden Mint. This is so pretty. Honestly, it's just so surprising how pretty this shade is. Just gonna take a small brush. Golden Mint is like one of my most favorite shades of highlighter I own right now, which is so funny because it's so situational and yet at the same time I end up using it a lot. Maybe because I've been doing green looks a lot recently, but like... And then I'm just gonna use my finger for my nose. It's like one of the few green highlighters on the market that I can put on my nose without it being darker than my nose too. Alright, so I said earlier I'm gonna take Cupid's Arrow in number 1. I want to see how this works as a lip liner. Very light in color. I don't know why I got this thinking I could use this on my waterline because it is like literally the exact same shade as my waterline, but I thought maybe as a lip liner. Interesting. Interesting. This is actually really close to the color of my lips, but it has more beige in it and it's more cool. Versus Blondie and Another Round and Fawn are all more warm. The only thing is that it's so large and thick and there's no real way for me to sharpen it. So I can see myself having difficulty using this once it loses its sharpness. But if it is also a good eye primer, then I could totally see using it as an eye primer to sharpen it, I guess. Yeah, I guess my new mission is to find a lip liner that is exactly the same shade as this. This has been this video has been full of surprises. I like it. I like being surprised. All right, so I haven't used this yet. I bought it just because of the packaging. The UEMURA and Hello Kitty collection came in like parts and pieces to the American website, and I never saw any big palette. I never saw the foundation bottle. I never saw anything of note ever come to the UEMURA US website for UEMURA x Hello Kitty, and I was so mad. I ended up getting just the lash curler for the charm because I have the Pikachu one too, and then I just got one lipstick, which I know is kind of dumb. I mean, it's cute though. This is the shade Ginger Flash. I actually think this will go really well, and I haven't used it yet because I just had it for like display purposes, you know? Ooh. And I'm like scared to use it because if I use it and really like the formula, I'm gonna want to buy more shades of UEMURA's lipsticks, and UEMURA is expensive. But sadly that has, I do really like this, and now I do want more shades, and UEMURA is expensive, so I played myself. This is a shiny formula, so it's not the matte that I wanted, but it's not a gloss, so still fits the look. I just didn't want to put on a gloss. It also has a very slight amount of sheerness to it, so it's not completely full coverage, but it's not a tint either. It's a really great finish. Okay, and now I want more shades of this. It is not orange, and it is not brown, and it is not pink. It is kind of it takes the best aspects of all three and puts it into one color. Ooh, yes, this is good. And especially with my overlined lips, it makes my lips look a little bit bigger. So I just washed my hair today, so my bangs are kind of messy, but I ordered bang rollers off YesStyle, so hopefully that helps in the future. But in the meantime, you'll just have to look at my ugly bangs. They also are too short right now, but they'll grow. But yeah, this is gonna be the finished look. I am pleasantly surprised with everything I used. I used a lot of things for the first time in this video, so definitely kind of falls under the first impressions kind of video, so I'm not gonna leave a review on anything, but I did like basically everything I used. Yeah, I have no complaints. I love how this look turned out, so I am super happy. And now I want more UEMURA lip products. Oops. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll be back very soon with more content. Hopefully I can get around to what I actually needed to film. This is totally not what I needed to film, but I don't care. So I'll get around to what I actually need to film eventually. I mean, you know, it'll get done. Maybe not this year. Alright, bye bye guys.